Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Justice Being Prevented. Now, this episode is going to be in direct response to Edward Joseph with his quote-unquote new narrative. Now, I see in his response to my video, he made sure he purposely did not show the bottom of the photo. And you can clearly see in the bottom of the photo, it's the deceased body of Kenneka Jenkins. Now, in this photo, I was highlighting the fact that there's ice cubes hanging from the refrigerant condenser unit. But there you see, when you see the full photo, you do see Kenneka's deceased body on the ground, which she refused to show. And it's plain as day. I really didn't want to point it out because I didn't think it was necessary, but for him to come out with such an outlandish thing that wasn't the freezer they found her in. Remember, according to the new narrative, they threw ice cubes in there to make it appear as if the freezer was on. But normal ice cubes that you see plain as day do not form like that unless a freezer's been on for days and days. So now you've been able to see, yes, he was lying. That entire picture, he cut off the bottom of it so that you could not see Kenneka's body. So I needed to bring that up to shut him down on that part of his quote-unquote new narrative or new story. As that's what a narrative is it's a story. So, now the next thing is... Now, I'm challenging directly, Edward, to please explain, why do you always refer to Teresa Martin as TM? Are you afraid that she may file a civil lawsuit against you for slander libel? And how can you possibly say she's not fighting in any way for her daughter when she's in the middle of a civil court case? Now, it's guaranteed she's already been offered a payout of probably a few $1,000,000 at this point, but she wasn't interested in that particular payout. So with your claims that Teresa was directly involved with this, why would she put her own liberty and safety and freedom at risk of getting charged with murder of her own daughter by opening herself up inside of a court of law? Now, you claim the police are the ones who covered this up. So that means that the Rosemont Police, which falls under the jurisdiction of the Cook County Sheriff's Department, that means they would have to be in on it, covering up for the Rosemont Police Department. But not only that, but you would have to then involve the Illinois State Police, which also has jurisdiction over Rosemont. They would also have to be on the cover-up. So now you're talking about a complete statewide scandal involving the entire police force of the state of Illinois over Kenneka Jenkins, a 19-year-old girl. Okay? How realistic does that sound? So you also mean to tell me that Cook County Circuit Court, where she has this ongoing civil case, she also has that judge in her back pocket too? Along with the entire state of Illinois police. Now, that takes your narrative to the marks of being outlandish, but I mean, you take it even further than that with how ridiculous you sound with this. I mean, who would believe this? I mean, listen to this out of your own mouth.
But he needed to protect and have readily available an organ that can save his mistress' life, which is Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez has Kenneka Jenkins' organ and other organs.
Okay, so you are claiming that this man right here, Bill Murray, he's behind all this. Now, his estimated worth is around $170 million. And you're claiming his mistress is Selena Gomez. And Selena Gomez has Kenneka Jenkins' kidney. And then you said she has Kenneka's organs and other organs. How many organs did Selena Gomez get? So Bill Murray needs to protect his son from what? We're talking about a 19-year-old girl from Chicago that lived in the ghetto. I mean, you're claiming the entire police force of the state of Illinois plus the court system is covering up for Bill Murray and Teresa Martin just so that they could take Kenneka Jenkins' kidney and do it in all places where there's video cameras everywhere in a hotel. Now, I understand you do claim that Kenneka never even went into the hotel. It was a fake Kenneka that was killed in the hotel. Why would they need a fake Kenneka in the first place? If this was done by the gangs and Bill Murray, why wouldn't they have done it hush hush? You know, Bill Murray can afford to do it out in the middle of nowhere. Instead, they're going to do it right in the middle of Rosemont and then kill a fake Kenneka inside of the Crown Plaza? I mean, listen to yourself. It's not you yourself that we're worried about. Those of us on the case for the right reasons, Edward. You get that all wrong. We're not worried about you. Sorry, let me correct that. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about the people who view your content. And I'm directly challenging you to come up with any sort of facts that you can show or receipts you can show to refute any of this information I've provided. Especially Kenneka being on the floor while icicles are hanging from the top of the freezer. Debunk that one, sir. Please. And now, you keep bringing to everyone's attention the channel of Chloe Olvera. Now, I've never spoken to this YouTuber. I do respect her work. She has been on this case since day one and seems incredibly passionate on this case. Now, everything I've ever seen her post, she does post receipts for everything. Hopefully at some point in the future, I am looking forward to working with her in some capacity. I would love that. However, you, on the other hand, spreading just a bunch of BS off the top of your head. I mean, how can you sleep at night talking about a 19-year-old deceased girl in this way, where you're talking about like a book or a fantasy movie about Bill Murray and Teresa Martin, you know, are running rampant over the entire police department of the entire state of Illinois, plus have the courts and judges in their back pockets, all over an organ from Kenneka Jenkins? Honestly, and where are you getting she was sodomized and raped? Where's your evidence for that? Can you please present evidence she was sodomized and raped? I mean, there is no evidence for that whatsoever. Nothing of what you have ever said you've shown any evidence. And you always say, well, you're not going to show it because you shouldn't have to show it, or because people are acting nefarious, you aren't going to show it in your so-called videos from the dark web. Which there are no videos on the dark web. Anyone can go to the dark web and find anything they want that's on there. If it was on there, the police would have had it a long time ago. I mean, that's where police look for stuff that are people trying to hide. The dark web is just as easy to navigate as the normal internet. But the bottom line here is, why are you so obsessed with this Chloe Olvera? Every video you're constantly bringing her name up and calling her names, and I don't understand that. Are you literally obsessed with this woman? And what does it matter what skin color she has? You see, you're getting under her white skin. Aren't we past that now? I thought racism was a thing of the past, Edward. Are you still honestly racist? I mean, seriously. Do you hear me bringing skin color into it, or anyone else bringing skin color into it? You're bringing skin color into it all the time and racially overtoning everything, using the N-word about Will Smith. And then when the woman who was on your panel claimed that she doesn't feel she was one of those, you berated her and screamed at her until finally she gave in and bowed down to you for God only knows what reason. But Edward, you're pathetic. Obviously, you see you're losing viewership constantly and no one cares about you anymore. And you know that deep down. And lastly, Edward, to claim that Selena Gomez has Kenneka Jenkins' organ and other organs. She got her kidney transplant before Kenneka Jenkins died. It was done in the summer of 2017, before Kenneka Jenkins died. But thank you for joining me on this episode. And more episodes will be coming out in the next few days. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for your time, and I'll be back.